Yeah, that was your "I made it" moment. Like, doctors and lawyers go hunting and they get the big room, and this is their "I made it" room. They got the mounts everywhere. That was Harrison's "I made it" moment.
And I think when we said, because we became a dealer and it's like, oh, just look at this, all these things we could sell. And we really had to step back and say, okay, what do we see every day driving around? Well, I see skid steers, mini excavators, backhoes,
small wheel loaders,
yeah, compact wheel loaders. I see some
75 horsepower tractors.
That's right.
100 horsepower
Let's
tractors.
start with that. And there's only been a handful of things that we haven't retailed that are brand new. Retailing that T9 was super cool. That was probably one of my favorite pieces. And I wish we had opportunities to sell more of them, but that was a beautiful tractor. And I remember, you were just like, you made it. I don't even remember how much money we made on it or not.
Yeah, it was.
That was your Super Bowl.
That was your, what do they call it, Camden? That was your Roman Empire?
Yeah, that was your "I made it" moment. Like, doctors and lawyers go hunting and they get the big room, and this is their "I made it" room. They got the mounts everywhere. That was Harrison's "I made it" moment.
Yeah, I mean, you worked so hard on that for so long, and when you pulled that off, I was like, man, I'm proud of him but you went and did 6 months of homework first.
Oh, it took a lot.
I mean, you went and learned about that equipment, and you learned the perfect applications for it, and the size of pull type scraper pan that needed to be with it. A lot of people would just say, hey, I got this here. Yeah, it'll work for that. But we found alternative financing for the customer, set them up. And every time, I think the only thing we had on that tractor, that was 2.5 years ago, but the only issues we had with that tractor were a hydraulic valve in the valve bank that needed to be replaced, and everything else was pips. So, kudos to you, because I would have looked at that and said, I'm not chasing
Not my
that
wheelhouse.
Not my wheelhouse. Not chasing that.
Well, now and I think we've all done it for some product line.
Yeah, there's definitely been things that I went out of my way
to figure out.
Like
that combi baler.
The combi baler.
Yeah, that was Sterling's "I made it" problem.
I freaking worked my ass off to try to figure out that deal.
Thank you, Chuck and TJ.
We're still learning on that one, actually.
Yeah. But, just the support from inside the group it took to accomplish those missions. It was uncanny on how much it took to rely on everybody else, right? Because for me to go learn the T9 and for you to go learn the combi,
someone's got to be at the office.
Yeah,
someone's got to be handling day-to-day things. Someone's got to be talking to customers, because you pull yourself away for something like that. I mean, hell, I started researching that for 3 weeks. We end up in Italy for New Holland deal. And I'm walking around the room at midnight there.
Yeah.
Talking to the dealers. I'm saying, does anybody here know anything about a combi bale wrapper? And this guy's like, yeah, I do. And
it just worked out.
By the grace of God, it just worked out. But I wasn't going to retail it if I didn't know anything about it.
Right.
The customer said,
I want it.
Let's send it.
We'll figure it out.
I'm like, no, I don't want to figure it out. I want to know beforehand. And then when we get it, I want to be able to provide product support and service and parts for that machine.
Well, I think that's why the consumer base relies such heavily, and they trust us, is because, hey, we can sell this product, but we're not going to sell it until we're ready.
Yeah.
Because when you have an issue and it's 3:00 in the morning, I want to figure out how to get it to you. And I would say,
go ahead.
I would say that same mentality has fallen over, because now, we haven't retailed a whole bunch of the T9s or just the one, but we've now found a consumer base that has a bunch of red and blue T9s size machines, and our technicians are trained. They know about it. They know how to work on it. And I had a story that came back to us. They said, your technician drove 5 hours one way, got there, put a part on, and fix the machine in 30 minutes. So we've had a competitor dealer out here. He spent 3 days working on it, and they still didn't fix it. And so because we took the time and we R&D'd the product and our people, we can fix things faster and get customers up and going.
Well, and that's
faster.
the big risk with. That's why you don't want any kind of employee turnover, right? Because you invest so much time and resources into your team, right? You get by the time you got
It stings when one leaves.
Yeah, you're not leaving, by the way, Cam. You're married.
Any technician that's a level 2 or a 3, if they leave, you just lost so much money in education.
Well, I think a
And-
salesman needs to know, like, you got to take care of your salesman. You know, the salesmen take care of the service guys as a salesman. Like, you need to go back there, give those guys the tacos, give those guys a bonus, give them, some love, because at the end of the day, that guy's the guy that's taking care of your customer to get you that second sale.
And when we can't figure it out at 2:00 in the morning, we have to call them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they've done that.
And they didn't make any money on selling the piece of equipment.
No.
You know.
They're getting out of bed. They're
They
getting
make
away
some
from
overtime.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm saying,
Yeah.
they didn't catch
Sometimes
the
that OT's more than the commission.
the commission check or the volume bonus at the end of the year, anything like that.
Yeah.
They're getting their paycheck, but I mean, at the end of the day, they answered their phone, they got out of bed,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
they came out there,
Well,
and they helped you solve the
that's
problem.
everything you ever want to ask from a technician.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, I that's everything I want to ask any employee,
Yeah.
right? If I can call any employee in the middle of the night and say, "Hey, we got to go take care of this customer, got to have you here," and they wake up and they come, that's the best way to do it.
Pick up your
Well,
dog.
before you say that, what I mean, we just talked about your favorite sale, probably.
Yeah.
Well, I just kind of touched on mine. You have a favorite sale? Mount Rushmore of sales?
Man, I don't know. Let me think on it.
I have my Mount Rushmore of sales, like just from being associated and my own. So the speed rower, that's on there. First speed rower, first T9, combi, and
I think Cam's was the double backup.
and our first skid steer.
First-
I think our very first sale, which was our first skid steer sale as well. Those have to be my favorite. That first sale.
Well, you're just pumped because you're
Well,
like,
we had inventory for like 4 months and we didn't sell anything. I thought
oh, booger.
It's harder than we thought.
fucked.
Ooh, this isn't going well.
Why did we hire Cam?
Matter of fact, he's fired today. Pick him up in 2 weeks.
That's my Mount.
What-
Those are my Mount Rushmore.
What's your favorite experience?
Man, probably one of the speed rowers to Stanley. That
Mhm.
was like a 2-year long sale. Honestly, I worked on him for a long time. The double backhoe guy, come in, buys 2 backhoes. Spent probably a month and a half working on him, and we had sold 1 backhoe as a new. We'd retailed 1 backhoe,
Mhm.
so it's pretty awesome to sell 2 of them
That
at
was
one
pretty
time.
cool.
As far as all the other
We
ones,
had a pizza party that day because I walked in and I saw 2 backhoes leaving. I was like, where are they going? And he's like, Cam just sold them. I was like, Cam's getting a pizza party.
I didn't need a pizza party. No, and then just like the repetitive customers, man, are up there. Guys that bought 3 or 4 machines or a tractor and a skid steer. Chuck and TJ, they bought a T5, that
Mhm.
combi, the rake,
Cutter.
the cutter. Those kind of guys
Yeah.
that like you've won every bit of their trust, and they're buying everything that fits their operation with you.
Mhm.
James Jones, he's bought 4, 5 tired skid steers from us now.
Mhm.
Brokered a used wheel loader for him.
Mhm.
That's you feel like you've made it with those guys because you're their first call. Whatever that it has, even if you don't have it, hey, can you find me one that's a little used?
Mhm.
They don't want to go anywhere else. They want you to take care of it, work on it.
The biggest compliment that I've personally just heard over and over and over again is, and this makes me just feel proud of our team that we've put together, is when I call, y'all answer, and I don't have to worry about y'all screwing me. Like that for me, that gives me the chills because that's the culture that I was going for when we started this thing.
Mhm.
Was when we end our career, when we're hopefully 120 years old, whenever we decide to put a fork in it, right?
Maybe all three of us added up will be 120.
Maybe at the rate we're going, I don't know.
I'm gonna feel 120.
But I want us to be remembered for the guys who just cared and we were honest.
I think that's everything you do in your life, right? You follow a set of principles and values, and ultimately that's who we want to hire. Those are people we want representing us. And that was really important to hiring that internal staff to be your faces.
Right.
They're going to be the people that your customers deal with the most on a face-to-face basis. That was one of the big things we talked about. And going from that house in Arden with legit rattlesnakes underneath it, pier and beam house, to no AC working in the summer, to
No toilet,
roots clogging the septic system
water well going out,
because they're drilling wells like
fracking.
3 miles away. The water table goes down. We have no water. From those days to where we're at now is nothing short of a blessing. But I think it speaks volumes on the staff we've hired and to surround ourselves with. I mean, yes, we've made lots of investments. I talked to a guy and he's asking me about carrying other brands of skid steers. I said, well, I'm kind of hesitant to do that. And he's like, why are you hesitant? And I said, because I've made skid steers my life for the past 5 years. I shit you not, my life has been a revolving door around skid steers. You would ask me 10 years ago if I would bring up like the most said word of my life, skid steer.
Would not have been on the list.
It was not on the list. Was not on my bingo card for like the next decade, but
It is now.
it is now.
Now, yeah.
And that's just kind of how life rolls itself in, and you take an opportunity and run with it. I feel like we're giving this our best right now. We're not even close to finish with it. So it's just been fun. The whole thing's been fun.